and this is only to like prevent like spying and things like that, um, for hunts or whatever. And that way, you can uh, avert some of that because that stuff, it's not a huge problem, but it is pretty annoying, and we've had that issue a couple times before.
Now, is that something you guys get a lot? I mean, do you guys have an application process or something to get into your clan, or is it just knock on the door and, hey,
Well,
I'm
it
here to.
it used to be a little bit more streamlined. Before we had the feeder, it would just be, you just have to meet our requirements, level 95, Town Hall 9, appropriate level heroes for, your defenses or whatever, so you can hit what's hitting you and all that. Um, and then, we had the Reddit clan system password. As long as all of that was present, you could pop right in. And that was an issue on a few occasions. Now that we have a feeder and it probably requires more effort, it probably hasn't happened as much, if at all, really. So that has helped, but I still think it would be helpful to have an extra layer of security there.
Okay, what about you, Various? I mean, anything else you really want to.
I'm trying to digest Frank's thought right now because I hadn't heard this opinion of his before. So I'm sitting here trying to think about it and how to work it out because
Yeah, because
I,
I mean, I'm still trying to come up with a good counter to that. That's
well, yeah,
fine.
because I know there was like, we had a guy come into the clan when we were still in RCS, like Frank said, and the guy, like, and we have like, an application you got to fill out where you got to put in your email and, put in your Reddit username and all this like RCS rule stuff we got to follow. And the guy, like, all of a sudden he left, and I think we put him into a war or something. Like, he was in the clan for like a day or so, and then he left, and immediately went back to this other clan, like a very well-known war clan, and immediately got co-leader. And we're like, what the hell? And hit the dude up on Reddit, and the dude just freely admitted like what he did, and we're just like, and I called him a few choice words, and the guy trolls me quite often whenever I post something on Reddit now or whatever. So I kind of, it'd be nice to not have that happen, and I kind of see Frank's point now. I'm trying to think of a way. Yeah, I just don't know how to do it. Where because it's how you would do that, or how you would nullify that situation, I guess. But
Well, I had heard somebody say that in spectate anybody in spectator mode would not be able to look at the bases.
well, that's an interesting way to do it. But then, like, what about this guy? We're all, he joined the clan, dropped him into a war, and he still did it and left. Then you're kind of screwed at that point, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that would be the downside of that. I mean, that way you could still invite people in during war, and you wouldn't have to worry about them getting scouted. But during if he's in the war, I mean, you're just pretty much.
Yeah. And I think even in this recent Clash Heads versus Black Lodge war, several members of Clash Heads actually left the clan, to and then built their war bases and rejoined like right before the war started. And I think it was solely for the purpose of not being able to have like their war bases spied on, if there was even a remote possibility of that happening. So
Okay. Um, saw a question up here. This chat keeps scrolling along. Um, had a question that says, "What new recruit have you been the most impressed with recently?"
well, that's interesting because we don't see a lot of the new recruits until they've been vetted, really, in our feeder now. You know, he's not a very he's not a green recruit. He's been here a few weeks, maybe a month now, but we had this Town Hall 10 Papa, who joined our clan, and Various can tell you about our frustrations with Town Hall 10s who've joined us. It's incredibly hard to find a Town Hall 10 who has an appropriately developed base and heroes that match that, and who also know what the hell they're doing when they're attacking. And this guy has just blown us away. Like, when he first joined, he was a relatively quiet guy, and he would put in some good attacks. And then, we saw him start, three-starring wars and incorporating some of the stuff, he was learning from perhaps watching us, and just improving his game. And and he's really developed into a monster, and I really love watching him attack. He's an absolute beast.
Yeah, he was the guy that thought of the whole like queen healer walk into a hog the other day, where I was like, man, why did I never think about it? And like, yeah, Frank was right. Like, he started off very safe and kind of on the, you know, the safe slow side. Went just 2-star away, was a little quiet, and all of a sudden the dude just like opened up one day and released the floodgates, and we're just like, dude, where did he come from? Like, and we're just talking about the guy. We're like, this guy's solid. And we've had a couple other 10s lately where they've come in, and you know, like this other guy Montezuma, and he came in and was pretty solid at first too. And we're like, man, where are these 10s all of a sudden coming from that actually, you know, have decent hero levels instead of like, you know, 12 heroes trying to apply or something like that. And you know, they actually understand mechanics and pathing, and you know, they can do simple math and understand tile differences and stuff like that. It was quite entertaining.
Yeah, like we mentioned before, it's always good when you can see a guy that he's on the cusp of getting it, and he just needs a little encouragement. Okay, try this or try that, and it's always cool to see him develop over time and watch him become beast attackers.
Yeah, for sure. It's and we've had others who came to our clan, and as Varys said earlier, you know, you don't have to be a three-starring machine when you come to us, as long as you're willing to, you know, work and learn to improve and all of that. And so we've had people who came to us who, you know, maybe had an idea of what a three-star strat should look like, and you know, they have then developed into monsters, and one of those is Wyfet, who she's come a long way, and she used to. It's funny because she always kind of knew what to do, and she would just kind of psych herself out, and then she started finally believing in herself, and now she's a good little ass kicker.
Oh, come on, she still psychs herself out.
Oh yeah, she does a little bit.
Yeah, we definitely do laugh about it, but yeah, she definitely does. Or like, we had this other elder Kuzi who, like, his cousin was in the clan, and you know, he sucked really bad when he first came. Like, he was not good, but like, we saw that he really wanted to learn and really wanted to drive, and now he's an elder, and how much he's grown is amazing, from like the zero to the hero he is now, basically.
Zero to hero, I like that.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, his cousin was in the clan long before he was, but he's a much better player. Um, but a lot of it again is just kind of the attitude and the dedication you put to it. You know, if you really put forth the effort, and you plan carefully, and you allow others to help you plan, and really just kind of put aside your own ego, and just kind of be willing to take feedback, then you can get a lot better. You know, we've had guys, dirty jammers, as various we'll call them, who've joined us, and you know, max Town Hall 9s with 30 heroes and super low war weight, but they're, you know, immune to feedback. They don't want to hear it. You give them feedback and they throw it through the curb, and they never get any better. So base strength is one thing, but you also have to have a certain attitude.
Yeah, and I like what you said about the ego, being able to put that aside. I think that really helps the clan a lot by not having a bunch of egos in it. People that are willing to say, okay, I'll do whatever it takes to, you know, get this win. And I also wanted to comment, Wifey said day one in Raiders, she asked, what's a kill squad?
Lots of questions. Like, it got to the point where I literally had to limit her on how many questions she was allowed to ask before she would attack.
You know what? We laugh about that being war focused, but we just had Steal the Glory just did an infiltration war where we went back to somebody's old clan and sent about 20 guys over there, and they were still doing like go wipe and go wee wee, and our guys went over there and were doing all these 3-star strategies, and they were just dumbfounded. And you know, they were talking in chat and sharing stuff with them, and they mentioned kill squad, and the guy was like, I had never heard that term before.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think that was where we also became almost a training ground for other RCS clans, is that other RCS clans would come into us. They would send like 3 to 5 people that were, you know, their main hitters or something like that, and they would stay with us for a week so they could learn and do a kind of a train the trainer type of thing. And so we could teach them all the terms, and the 3 stars and show them. They would be in our war room and see how we attack and draw things out and stuff like that too.
So, I mean, you guys, we all laugh about that, but there are people out there that don't understand the whole kill squad. We have a person in Kent Farmhouse 2.0, Eye of Mordor. She came to our clan, and she didn't know, and I mean, she had never warred. She'd been in global clans, and basically hadn't done, I don't think she had, but maybe 20 war stars total, and few people took her under their wing, and now she's 3-starring and just kicking butts.
Yeah, and it's really, I think it's more rewarding when you really see people develop like that, because usually those people are a little bit more, one, they're helpful because you were helpful to them, they're helpful to others, they kind of pay it forward. They tend to be a little bit more loyal. They stick around since you help them develop so much. But also, it's kind of like a sense of pride and like I do know a little bit about what I'm doing here, and it's good to kind of help others realize what they're capable of if they just make a few tweaks here and there. And if I always say if Yfet can 3-star at Town Hall 9, anyone can.
Wow.
We're gonna pay for that later, probably somehow. And I think Frank is right. Like the whole pay it forward thing. Like in my professional career, I train a lot of people, and it's a big thing for me, and it's a big motivating factor for me. And I think that's a thing for me also here is that, someday I'll probably leave the clan. I can't clash forever, or something will happen, but hopefully I'll have it set up to where everybody's replaceable, but they can keep the same mentality, pay it forward, and keep training people and helping them the same way.
All right, guys. Unless the chat's got some more questions here, or you guys got any questions for me or anything like that, I think we're gonna give last call here.
No questions from Yfet.
But if people are wanting to apply to Reddit Raiders or the Reddit Alliance clans, how would they go about reaching you or applying to the clan?
Yeah, for Raiders, really just you have to go through our feeder, which is Reddit Rangers, and really there you'll just hang out for a couple wars. We'll see what you can do. If it looks like you've already know what you're doing, then you'll transfer over to Raiders relatively quickly. If not, if it looks like you need some help, that's perfectly fine. Again, as long as you're willing to learn and put in the work, you can stay in Rangers, and you'll become a better attacker because you're going to be surrounded by others who with the same mentality and who want to improve. And again, we invite all members of Rangers into our war room as well, so they get exposed to all of the plans that Raiders put out there as well, and all of the talking. And again, the only major requirements really for Raiders would be, age 18 plus and over, because again, we're an adult clan. If you're Town Hall 9, we want to see your heroes be a combined level of at least 25, with decent defenses and walls. It's always interesting when you see guys with max defenses but purple walls. We don't want to see that. For Town Hall 10, we'd like to see at least 25 heroes, so a combined level of 50, but preferably higher. 60 is probably more likely to get you into the clan. And same thing with the defenses and walls, like they've got to be appropriate for wherever you're at, on the war grid. And really, that the only other requirement then is that you're willing to get onto GroupMe, because again, we're very talkative. We're very active clan, and so you have to be able to be reached and all of that for important wars and whatnot.
And one thing I do want to throw in is that you guys have been as far as asking questions about the show and stuff, you guys have been the most on the spot, asking questions and really wanting to be prepared for the show. So, I mean, maybe it's because I've talked to people that have already been on podcasts or streams or stuff like that. But you guys, I could not believe the amount of questions you ask about, being ready for the show and stuff. So,
Yeah, absolutely. We want to put out a good vibe. Obviously, we want to represent ourselves well, but we're also very grateful for this opportunity, and so we wanted to make sure we were giving you, what you were looking for too.
all I was looking for was to help promote the Fair Play community and, make sure that, people know that, hey, Reddit Raiders is out there and their sister clan, Reddit Rangers, is also out there and they're looking for matchups. And if you want a good matchup, to check them out.
Absolutely, and I think Rangers has their first matchup coming up too, sometime next week. I think they're facing one of the lost Phoenix clans, LP3, I think it is, which Raiders had faced a long time ago, and so we kept in touch with them about perhaps having a rematch. But it looks like Rangers has a better town hall composition, so they'll be facing one another.
Yeah,
pretty soon here.
that's like Steel. I saw Wifet's post on FPC site, and it looks like we, Steal the Glory, have a better matchup potential there than we did with Reddit Raiders. So, I mean, we've got the bigger community of clans to work from, but it looks like just for ease of matchup, it would be easier for us to match up with Reddit Rangers. So maybe we'll be contacting you guys down the line.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And I did want to, before we end, to plug the Reddit Alliance clans. As I mentioned, they range in level and kind of emphasis. So there are definitely other war clans with, some of them take somewhat lower or less developed bases. In the Reddit Alliance, there's also more casual clans. So if you head to the Reddit Alliance sub, there's a listing there, a good list there of all of the Reddit Alliance clans and kind of a good description of what they're about and whatnot. So Raiders is probably one of the more competitive and hardcore warring clans in the Reddit Alliance, but there are certainly others for guys who take it more casually.
That's awesome. Do you guys got Twitter handles or anything like that you want to shout out?
Yes, absolutely. We've got a Twitter and a YouTube. We both are just Reddit Raiders. The Twitter, I believe, is Reddit Raiders _, but the YouTube is just Reddit Raiders. And of course, Wifet is also on Twitter, and she loves new friends, so you can hit her up too.
Okay, now this is my version of shout outs. I ask you guys to buy around for whoever you're gonna want to shout out. So let's start with Various. Who would you like to buy around for tonight?
And does this person get a lot of grief, or
This
is
is
it a positive thing? Because I have different people I'm aiming for then.
It can be, I don't know, either or. You're the one buying the round, so.
You know what? I'll buy one for Wifet then. She makes all these matches happen. She helps make this stream happen. She does a lot for the clan, and she takes a lot of crap from a lot of us for being the only chick, and she gives us quite a bit of hard time for leadership with her little @leadership and group me things that don't actually notify us but just annoy me.
So
I don't know.
she's doing @leadership in the chat.
She does an @leadership thing, and it doesn't actually us. And I'm not going to tell her how she can do group notification because, God, then it will just never end. But, she does a lot for us, and she makes all these matches happen that make me have no life on some weekends, which I really do appreciate. And I want the whole clan to know how much work she really does behind the scenes with this whole thing.
Awesome. How about you, Frank?
For me, I would like to. Let's see. I'm gonna give mine to our boy Spartacus, who pulled out this amazing split hero 3-star on one of the Town Hall 10s in War Whales. Spartacus is a guy who appears quiet in the clan chat, but in Elder he's pretty active, and The guy is a brilliant attacker. He left for a while, and we were all really sad because he's just a, all around a great dude and a really good attacker. And so we were bummed to see him go, but he came back, and he came back stronger than ever. He's great. He's a great dude.
Cool. And I'm gonna buy around for Duce, who is the admin, one of the admins over at the Fair Play community. He gave us a huge shout out on the site and onto the Bindle chat. So my round goes out to him. And unless anybody else has got something, then I think we're gonna wrap the show tonight.
Sounds good. And we're very appreciative of the opportunity to be on here. So
And
thanks.
I'm hoping to get more people on here like you that wants to promote their Fair Play clan and spread the word about some of these great clans that are out there, because I think we get kind of focused on our little area of the Clash world. So I'm hoping to reach out and catch more people and let other people know what all the great people that are out there.
Absolutely, and I think I run the Reddit Raiders Twitter, so I'll go ahead and give you all a follow, and I'll retweet your stuff and help you hopefully help you get the word out there.
All right, great. And I think I followed you, so hopefully I can retweet any of your stuff to help promote you guys as well. All right,
Awesome.
so that's our show tonight. Thanks everybody who was in chat. You guys were awesome, and thank you, Frank and Various, for coming on the show. And that's going to be the show for tonight. Everyone have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.